this is the privilege that I get, is to hang out with people like you who are giving, who are taking. I get all this advice constantly. And the reason the Lion Prize exists, because I didn't take any damn advice when I was your age or younger than you. And sure wish I had. Gosh darn, it could have been so much easier, so much faster, so much better. But you can't ask for do-overs. And so we're doing it now. Lane, there is someone watching this case study who is distrustful. They've been burned before, or by somebody who sounded great and wasn't. They have done a lot of stuff like you did in your life. Like, I'll figure this out, or I'll find something better. And which they might. You know, we're certainly not the only place in town to accelerate. So if you were to look at them in the screen and you were to speak to them like you were over lunch or a cup of coffee, how would you encourage them to consider the opportunity that they might have here in a way that potentially would be meaningful for them?
Right. Well, I spent, Bill, 28 years at the controls of an F-16. The F-16 single cockpit by yourself. And I've accumulated 5,000 hours. Quite a few of that was in combat. And so you're flying the airplane by yourself. You have a team that surrounds you, that helps support you. And going through that from, you know, the very first takeoff that you ever do, the first time you start the engine, and then my very last flight in June of 2019, you know, people can relate to this. I hope they can relate to this illustration. So if you were to tell me that I would have achieved that by reading a book, by watching YouTube, or being self-taught, and got to the same point of professionalism and the best pilot in the Air Force, which we all think we are, by yourself, you would have been naive. It would have been ridiculous to say you can self-teach yourself to become an expert. You just can't. And so I take that illustration and apply it to business. You want to be a good businessman or businesswoman, or you want to be successful in your industry. And a lot of people think, well, I can do this myself. I can become self-taught. I can watch somebody else fly. I can watch somebody else in my industry and just pattern after what they do. But that's like saying, hey, why don't you go learn to be an F-16 combat pilot by watching YouTube videos, or reading a book from the library about it, or watching another F-16 combat pilot. You may be able to do that. But if you really want to maximize your skill, if you really want to minimize your effort, and you want to optimize the time it takes for you to get really, really good, like I was on my last flight, or my first flight perhaps, then hire the best coach you can. Hire the best flight instructor that you can afford, and then they will teach you how to fly the F-16, and they'll teach you how to fly in combat, and they'll share all their experiences with you. That's their job. And if you don't like them, go find another one. But the point of my illustration is, if you want to be successful, go find the very best coach that you can find, connect with them well, and then follow their advice, right? So that's my recommendation to anybody that's considering, coaching, whether it be the Lions Pride or another organization. Best of luck to you, but certainly go find and hire the very best F-16 flight instructor you can, because you're going to get a lot faster. You're going to get there faster, safer, and with a heck of a lot less energy, because sometimes the cost of mistakes in business, and certainly the F-16, can be lethal.